Next new torment should be Final Fantasy IX. Alright, so let's take a look at the Final Fantasy III event. Burning Crush. 4 single target fire damage, high chance to crit. Well, not really. Plus 20% chance to crit. That's only high if you currently have a crit fix enabled. Uses major fire because it's a monk ability, power and earth. So that's a nice array of orbs. But I don't really like the skill, so there you go. A new character, though, Aria. White Magic 5. Ooh, Bard 5. Support 3, who cares? Dancer 4, that's fine. Useful. Lena uses it sometimes. Dagger, Rod, Staff, Instrument. Wow, someone else who can carry Mog's Gaia Bell for me. Yeah, whatever. Everything else is weird. Or not weird. Typical. Nice RM99, though. We already have a version of that, but... never mind. It's not nice. I'd never use it. Mind of Silence resists a record dive. I'm not even going to look at that, because record dives are not important. Fine. Legend dive on Aria, but... what is Aria's legend dive? We'll find out in a sec. Actually, let me get that loaded up. Does Aria do any earth damage? No. So the Gaia Bell, like Sarah before her, is just a stat stick. Oh, right. LM2 reduces damage taken by fire attacks. Nice. Arc. Same thing. It's fine. Dash. That's one of them crappy status resist sections with minor lightning resist, but lightning damage up is good. Cloud of Darkness is the same thing. Minor dark resist, minor sleep resist, and dark damage 9%. So good damage numbers, but bad resists. Legend materia for Aria, Arc, Dash, and Cloud of Darkness. Arc gets 35% chance to dual cast white magic. If only he was a better white mage. Dash, 35% chance to dual cast lightning. If only he was a better lightning mage. He, ever since the not the death, but the marginalization of BSBs, he became less good, and then once USBs came out and they gave him what we're going to see in this event, he remained less good. Cloud of Darkness, 35% chance to cast an ability. There's group damage of 4.4 magical that deals dark damage after using a dark ability. So she gets a chase as her LM2. 35% chance to cast a weak ability. Stinks. It's actually bad. Just bad legend dive. 4.4 for magical is a really low multiplier, and it's being only a 35% chance to do it. Ouch. It's only a single hit, so it's not even good for chain building. There's really just nothing good about her legend materia, except until you reach your legend materia 2. Attach Dark at the beginning of the battle for Cloud of Darkness is fantastic, but you don't really want it here. The reason why it's so good is because she has a great fight starter with her her BSB2 that will be on the next Final Fantasy III event. And her LMR is also there, so there's no need to go for it here if that's what you're into. So a whole bunch of bad. Who's a better DPS White Mage, Mimu, or Rem? Minwoo. Yeah, Minwoo. Okay, so, well, that was quick. We got through that really quickly. It's because there's a whole lot of uninteresting stuff going on there. Nothing to talk about in the legend dives. Alright, so we move on to the banners themselves. We're still in the 2 6-star format, where we have at least we have a CSB on this banner. That immediately improves the prospects of it being any good. Seymour is one of the better Dark Mages because he gets the Darkness Chain. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what chains do to people these days. Refia gets her USB. It's adorable. Metal Knuckles is Realm Synergy Fire Up, so it is basically nothing. 10 single target fire non-elemental and fire itself quick cast 1 and high critical. High critical is plus 50% damage when dealing a critical hit. Doesn't actually give you any extra percentage chance to deal a critical hit, so by itself, it's actually not good. Gain quick cast 1 when using fire damage abilities for a period of time. It is a good USB. Very good, in fact, but it does need help. You can self-give her that help from her BSB, which is crit plus 50%. Oh man, well timed, while I'm in the middle of like talking and stuff. But thank you. I don't want to downplay my gratitude. So this is good because Refia can give herself critical percentage. Otherwise, you need to get that crit percentage from the 5-star ability that we just got in this event. But it's only 20%. So that high critical that you're getting from this is just wasted, really, if you're using anything but a 50% crit buff from external. So good. Really powerful, in fact. Really powerful. Especially in the Magicites, which are going to make sure that she gets benefit from this. But really, I think she works best when you're using your USB and BSB together. Yeah. Unless, well, Onion Knight. Onion Knight's Ninja Mode USB that comes on the next Final Fantasy III event. There's your 50% crit. That would be nice. Ingus. Runax is also Realm Synergy and Earth. So basically nothing. CSB, Unbreakable Steel, 11 single target Earth Physical. Party Guts, activate Earth Chain. Oh, yeah, I explained her USB and what it did. It's just a quick cast, quick cycle fire abilities. Fire damage. Anyway, Ingus, Earth Chain, and gives Party Last Stand. It's really powerful. It's all about both of them, Will. Both of them. There's nothing really to describe here with the chain. Last Stand is really useful for numerous reasons. It allows you to play a little more bold. You don't have to worry about people dying, so you can just be a little greedy and be okay with it. Anyway, the CSB. It's the only Earth CSB we're gonna get. I don't believe, yeah, we don't get a magical one yet, as far as we know in Japan, so. Ark's Wizard Rod. This is his BSB2, 8 single target Holy Water, white damage. And Holy. If later, White Mage, like strong White Mages become an actual thing, but Ark isn't one of them. He may be in the very distant future once he gets an actual USB, but this just came out at a weird time when, you know, we know that in less than a month we're going to be getting the ability upgrade, and that works great with stuff like USBs, like REM and Mimu's USB 2. But Arc gets a BSB that gives him Unholy, which means the BSB is worthless, except for giving him Unholy, so he can, you know, cast some 4-hit Holies really powerfully. Yuna has access to White Magic 5 and an Unholy Relic, so Yuna's, you know, doesn't have dual cast 35% in her Legend Dive, but just it's not powerful enough to make Arc worth diving, so this is a black mark on the banner, unfortunately. Arya, BSB, Maiden of Water gets a Kurok Medica, so at least we have a healer thing here. Party Minor, Fire Resist, which is a 10% fire resistance to party. Pretty light. Definitely would rather something else as the additional effect on a Medica entry. But the commands aren't bad. It's just your typical zero cast time Kiraga in high regen and Medica. So that's not bad. It's just okay. There's nothing special about it. Next up, we have Refia's BSB. We know how good Refia's BSB is. It loses a lot of pizzazz with the ability upgrade because of the swinginess of the burst command. If it's not for the high critical that she gains on the USB entry, the USB entry, combined with her BSB, this isn't as good as it used to be. This is just a really good burst. But the multiplier on it is low enough that makes it, if you're not getting the high critical from the USB, then after the ability upgrade, Fires Within is probably just better than her commands. So you're using it for the Dark Bargain on the second command. But recasting is nice. See, the nice thing about Dance of Carnage is the fact that the crit buff is free. So, like a lot of other people, say Arc for instance, you use his BSB, but it's really just a Super Soul Break that gives him Unholy, right? Well, Orpheus is different, because it's more like a USB. It's an Endfire Super Soul Break with a Dark Bargain command, but the crit percentage is free. Because like very few other Burst Soul Breaks get that available to it, and that's what makes it good to combine with the USB. I think this is being aged a bit, but at least it's a plus fire bracer, so that's always going to be useful in multiples as well. It's something, Berlau, but if you combine the high critical on command 1 with the crit percentage and the end fire, or not the end fire, because that would be standard. And so the crit percentage would be too. You will do more damage using Fires Within than her first command. Unless, perhaps, you also had the high critical from her USB. That's what I'm trying to say. So, the Dark Bargain command is nice. Allows her to self-buff better. Next up, Onion's Mythical Burst Soul Break, Vessel of Fate. Attack and magic plus 30%, haste, and burst mode. We all know how good this is and how useful it is. You probably considered selecting it during the last festival. If you didn't, this was one of the banners you were potentially holding out for. Like I'm going to say for most of the stuff on this banner, it does appear on a better banner. The Onion Knight USB banner has both of his USBs and his Burst Soul Break on it. One thing that you can get on this banner that's very good, that you can't get on that banner though, is Ingus's CSB. So that may make this banner pullable to some people, rather than waiting the couple of months that it's going to take us to get to Onion Knights, because that's estimated to drop in December or January. In you know, the grand scheme of things, record keeper timelines, that's actually not that far away. But yeah, I think this is always going to find a use because Onion Knight's so useful, and it's an attack and magic Keiska. It's just, you know, one of the most ideal things that you can be using for a hybrid team, even if parties get it more specialized. So you're going to want a specific, you know, buffer. If you're running a magic team, you want a specific magic buffer. If you're running a physical team, you want a specific physical buffer. Onion Knight can be all three of those. Be physical, magical, or hybrid. This is one of the pieces that gets him there. It's awesome. So 3 Legend Materia and 3 Super Soul Breaks. Refia's plus fire light armor. So we got plus fire from her BSP and plus fire from the light armor. Low chance to double cast fire damage abilities. So that's a 25%, and that's really nice. You could, because it's fire damage abilities, this could be used for something like Ruby Spark. But Refia in her Legend Dive. No, it's a Record Dive, not her Legend Dive, because her Legend Dive is just fire, I think. Where are you? Yeah. Legend is fire. But I recall that her record is monk damage. Monk damage 9%. So Fires Within just ends up being the better choice. Oh wait, shoot. Monk damage 9%. There you go. The 3% you get here is if you want to invest all of those monk motes into her and unlocking Lifebane, and then the monk damage 3%. Might be worth it if you have her USB and LMR and stuff. But anyway, this is a really good LMR. Also shows up on... I'm going to go over the Onion Knight banner because it aligns so strongly with this one. So you can make a decision whether or not you're going to go for that one or this one. Next up, Ark's LMR. Up to medium mind up based on number of white magic abilities used is junk. Arya's LMR. Low chance to increase white magic healing by a large amount when using white magic abilities. Not bad, but it's kind of a win more for healers thing. Arya's already a highly capable healer. She's going to be healing your fire party if you're not using, you know, a better healer that does other things. So, not a real desirable LMR at all. It's just a bonus if you're using Arya, I suppose. Arya's Super Soul Break is a 10. Small auto resistance. For the same reason, I talked so long ago about Go-Go's Super Soul Break. Minor water resistance actually isn't a bad minor elemental resistance because it overwrites the weakness of Gigas Armlet. That's it. But it's not that good. It's just little footnote. Super Soul Break, Life of Devotion, Party Magic Blink, and HP Stock 2000. Yeah. Rising Sun, Refia. Yeah. Onion Slice is actually not that bad. If you're under the effect of burst mode, that allows you to hit 11 times with this thing. It's not quite his OSB, but because his OSB is both physical and magical, depending on what you're running. But a nice thing about Onion Slice is that if you're hitting 11 hits with it, it's a pretty substantial amount of damage. And if you're outside of Magic Site dungeons, then the defense and resistance minus 50% is also a pretty valuable debuff as well. That's about the best thing I can say for it. It doesn't not have a use. I'm sorry to use a double negative there, but I've used it on Torment, D300 jump starts. It's a nice thing to weave in to allow yourself to deal more damage to chew through those gigantic HP pools that the D300 bosses have. But as far as like hard content, I suppose it really shows its value on the D300 Final Fantasy III. I use it there. D300 Final Fantasy III Sid mission. I used Onion Knight and I used Onion Slice for one of his Soulbreak uses because that guy is an ass and he heals himself under 40% every time you touch him with anything that can cause him to be countered. So the more damage that you can do per command, the better. And Onion Slice with the defensive resistance minus 50% gets you there. I was going to take it out of the playlist at all, specifically. So let's do that. Because, yeah, I think I already went over why it should have been taken out. It's one of those songs where you have to have played it for it to mean anything at all. So that was Banner 1. And I will go over Banner 1 slightly again after I go over Banner 2 because a lot of this banner recurs on the next Final Fantasy III event, which is not that long from now. Next up, Banner 2, Cloud of Darkness USB. Empress Karna, I believe is Realm Synergy. Yeah, Realm Synergy Dark Up, so don't care. Wide angle particle beam, 7 area of effect, dark and lightning, and dark. Party magic and resistance plus 30%. Additionally cast thunder when using dark element damaging abilities. So it's a chase and a party magic and resistance buff. The chase is not strong, but that's okay. Because at least it's something tacked on to the party buff. And you should just be using darkness abilities, so that's okay. It's a good USB on a good character. Just not, rock your socks. It's good. Gladius the Dash is also Realm Synergy Lightning. We're unfortunately in the age where Realm Synergy relics are all the rage. For DNA, not us. I hate them. They're such a lie. USB Storm of Duty, 10 single target lightning non-elemental, Imperil Lightning, and Party Quick Cast Magic 3. Yeah, it just, like I said when I talked about Dash's Legend Dive with his 35% chance to dual cast lightning abilities, not feeling this? Dash does have access to... I guess I do like it. Dash has support for. So, say you give him a striker. He could... Yeah, but see if he's using... Yeah... I'm just trying to think of how to use this. Where you... A striker, Wrath, USB, then Chain Thandaga 3 times? For light damage, because you're using a striker as and you hope that by the end of the fight you're able to use his USB again. Otherwise, you're squandering the Quick Cast Magic 3, and if you're squandering the Quick Cast Magic 3, no, because the party's getting it at least. This just is weird. Wrath. So third turn, you're granting Quick Cast Magic 3 to your party. Who benefits from this? Just about everybody, I suppose. So that should be about when you're using soul breaks and stuff. So is he really just a buffer? With the Imperil and the Quick Cast Magic 3? Because for his Legend Dive to be useful at all, you need to use Chain Thandaga from that point. So not only can you benefit from the Quick Cast, but you benefit from his Legend Dive. It's good. I suppose I put it in the same class as Cloud of Darkness. It's good. Just below the top tier. I believe we put him in A for the tier list, and I think that's justified. It's very good. It's very good, just not the best. Alright, so moving on to the BSBs, we have 4 of them. Cloud Darkness's Calcite staff is old, but it has plus dark on it, not locked to realm, so that's nice. Unfortunately, it's only a 5-star. 8 single target Dark Holy, Party Radiant Shield. This is a pretty good burst for Dark and Holy teams because the Party Radiant Shield is probably going to net you quite a bit of damage. If there's an issue with this, is that you kind of have to Mako Might or Dark Mogs it out to get the full effect of the Radiant Shield. That's okay because the damage output potential of it has nothing to do with Cloud of Darkness's stats. You don't mind losing stats by not having a better RM. But you just need room for a Mako Might or Dr. Moggs, which is obviously a pretty valuable record materia. Next up, we have Ark's first burst, which is just bad. 5 single target Holy Non-Elemental, Medica 55, so it's sacrificing its Medica strength to deal very, very little amounts of damage, insignificant amounts of damage. And self-mine plus 30%, which is not bad, but when you see his commands, yeah, it's Curaja plus Asuna. That is actually just Ultra Cure as a command. Nope, no thanks. It is a healer BSB. It does have a Medica command. That's about the nicest thing I can say for it. Next up is Desh's Burst Soul Break. I'm not sure Shooting Star. I would assume so. Honestly, with the way status IDs work, they're different status IDs, but I've never heard actual confirmation. So I don't know. So we don't have any Elemental Radiant Shields yet. We should have, but that banner was skipped. That was the Yuffie BSB2 and Kamara USB banner. So Desh's Burst Soul Break, 5 area effect lightning in lightning burst mode. The best thing we can say about this one is that you can wrath it out. Other than that, I've been honestly unimpressed with the damage that it puts out. But maybe that's because I don't buff my my lightning teams properly. I don't know. I've been trying to do Bismarck with Desh and his BSB and Ash and her BSB with, you know, magic buffers and trusters, and it just doesn't seem like they do a heck of a lot of damage. So I have had poor results with this BSB. They are sufficiently powerful outside of Magicite, but I guess I'm evaluating it by the hardest content in the game. And it came back, you know, wanting. Next up, we have Ingus's Aegis Shield, which is an interesting status resist armor. Status resist on armor is kind of nice, even if it is just Petrify. It's just a nice thing to have around, because it will stack with status resists that you find on accessories. Oathsworn Espada is nice in the same way that Refia's BSB is nice. Not as good, but the attack and defense plus 30% to self is free. Because it is damage plus Unearth. So that's nice. And eventually this becomes a better BSB once we have access to Guardbringer, because this gives him attack, defense plus 30%. He has a Sentinel command, and he gets Unearth. So it turns into a Guardbringer burst. which is nice because, sorry, Earthbringer. So that'll be nice. That is true, Hugh Jeffner. Bismarck is meant to be done by physical teams. He has a remarkably high resistance, even for Magicite. So that's probably why I've run into such a difficulty on the fight. Not that I haven't been able to clear it. If you're just looking for clear, Desh's BSB is great. Desh's BSB works well over time because of the way his the first command works. He gets 4 lightning non-elemental magic and self quick cast magic 1. Works really well over time because it speeds up the second cast of his BSB, since you'll be rolling quick cast magic 1s. But I haven't even come close to the 30-second clearing the fight. If I Legend Dive Shulk, maybe I'll give another run at it. Okay, so Legend Materia, we have 3 on this banner. Cloud of Darkness, start battle with Dark. I did talk about this on the last banner, or not the last banner. I just looked at Cloud of Darkness and Legend Dive. So because Cloud of Darkness is USB and Cloud of Darkness is BSB, both work well, cast at the beginning of the fight, one for party magic and resistance plus 30%, and the other for party radiant shield. That means that, and neither give her, oh wait a second, her USB does give her Dark. So that's not the best combo. You just get 80% increased damage on the cast of a USB and that's it. Or if you use Memento Mori first turn, then you get a 50% increased damage on that, for what that's worth. It's a single target, 4-star dark attack. Whatever. But really, her LMR is best worked with something that doesn't occur on this banner, which is her BSB2. So, that's not nice. What's the 19 mean? Dark resistance, so don't care. Desh's LMR is up to small magic up based on number of black magic abilities used. Bad. Ingus Genji shield. Low chance to reduce damage taken by a medium amount when equipped with his shield. Considering that there is no shields in the game that increase earth damage, this is a pretty awful Legend Materia. So you basically either choose between this Legend Materia doing nothing at all, 0 things, which stinks considering the fact that Ingus's Legend Dive itself is awful, so it would have been nice for him to get a Legend Materia relic that, you know, was worth a damn. Or you give somebody else in the party your Earth Armor and Ingus a shield, so he can take a slightly lesser amount of damage. This is just an awful Legend Materia relic. I'm not going to split hairs to go with a bad Legend Dive. It is unfortunate for one of what I thought was one of the better characters in the game. Then they gave him Chain. I thought that was even better. And then they kind of just soiled the pot with Ingus's Legend Dive and Materia. But he's still good because he's got a Chain. That just speaks to how good chains are. Next is Super Soul Breaks. Cloud of Darkness' Darkening Cloak. 5 area of effect and dark. And the Darkening Cloak itself is plus dark damage. It's not a bad Super Soul Break. That's kind of what you're looking for from the Super section. Just give me elemental armor. Or elemental weapons. Just elemental things. That's cool. That's all I really want. Arc Super Soul Break, which is his substitute for a USB. It's not a USB. It only has 3 effects, but they're 3 very good effects. 0 cast time, Curaga Medica, and Party Blank. And it is a plus holy armor. So, good. Again, that's what we're looking for from supers. And it's a good soul break to boot, so that's not bad. Ingus's Gaia Blade, Super Soul Break. It's plus Earth Sword. So, while these are definitely more common, Dark Armor and Holy Armor, the plus Earth damage sword is very, very uncommon. So uncommon, I would say that it is ultra rare. I don't even think that they exist in the game until 4 months after this happens, during a Final Fantasy V event. So, ultra rare. And the Super Soul Break is fine, but at least this banner has some amazing, not amazing, like some good relics on the bottom half of the banner that you don't mind picking up. And you better not mind picking them up if you plan on pulling on this banner, because let's look at the distribution. And this applies to both banners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Really? I must have skipped one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh god, so the Gaia Blade, which is the best super, is still only a 1%er, while you're stuck with the only 2%ers on the banner being this super and the second super. I don't like this banner at all. Just because, again, we have the new banner format coming soon where there's 3 6-stars on banners, which give us more of a chance of some of the best USBs in the game for developing teams around. I don't believe that either of these USBs are the best USBs in the game for building teams around. They're just really good, but they could be better. There's better coming. Yep. But now let's go back to that first banner, where we go and take a look at the Onion Knight banner in the future and compare them. So this event is ETA'd for November 2nd, which is not just ETA'd, I mean, they've already shown us the date that this is going to be releasing November 2nd, which is this week. The Onion Knight banner I have ETA'd for January, but that's more of a conservative estimate. It could be December. I'm just counting on it being a little later than that. The thing is, this event was one of those weird ones that's not a weekly event. It's only a single banner. It's not a full event. So it could actually be moved, but I'm not looking to gacha simulate. No, I have definitely done that. So on this banner, we jump up to 4 6-stars. We move from 4 burst soul breaks to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 burst soul breaks. And 4 legend material. There's no supers on this banner. Judge Magister, January, most likely. That's a estimated time of arrival would be January. 2 to 2.5 months from now. So, right away we see some pretty ridiculous banner format going on here compared to this one. And right at the top, already we see both of Onion Knight's excellent USBs. One is magic focused and the other is physical focused. Just really two of the best USBs in the game as far as utility is concerned. And then we move into some damaging stuff that's more focused, which is Rafia's USB. We just went over it. And Cloud of Darkness also just went over it. Would rate Rafia's better, but Cloud of Darkness is still good. I would say that Cloud of Darkness is better if Cloud of Darkness were a better character than just her USB. And she is. She actually gets one of the best buffing burst soul breaks for a specific team type, which would be darkness teams, and it appears on this banner. Cloud of Darkness is BSB2. As a 6 area of effect, dark non-elemental, party magic and mind plus 30%, party doom and party haste. And the doom is not just any doom, it's a 30-second doom, not a 45-second doom. So you're playing with fire, or you're playing with doom. But that's okay for darkness teams, I would say. Using the power of this burst, you are speeding up a team to the point where that Doom timer is not insane. It's made for 30-second clearing. It really is. And what's nice about this is the commands are darkness. And they both augment your ability to use darkness abilities. So you're not locked into using the commands or anything. You can just load her up with Dark Zone, self-buff, and then self-darkness 3. So you use this and then 2 Dark Zones and you're hitting like a truck with your support character. And that works, like I said, it works together really well with her Endark LMR. So that's really nice. And her Endark LMR does occur here, by the way. Ingus's Burst Soul Break doesn't occur here, but his Burst Soul Break 2 does, which loses the Attach Earth and loses the attack and defense plus 30% buff and gives him Earth Radiant Shield instead. Arguably better. And the commands... Oh, attack and defense plus 50%. This is meant to be used with Earthbringer as well. So the commands are definitely focused on the same thing that his first is. But I think most would probably take the Earth Radiant Shield. Aria's is here. Ark's Burst Soul Break 1 is also here, so if you're looking for Medicas, even though they're both not 18 Medicas. So these are probably the weakest relics on the banner. But Onion Knight's Burst Soul Break is also here, in case you're still looking for that. So you don't have to worry about pulling on this banner if you don't want to, if you're looking for the Burst, because you can also pick it up here. Along with his 2 amazing USBs. But as for the Legend Materia, these are very, very familiar. Refia also occurs on that coming event. Call of Darkness and Arc all occur there. Well, Arc's LMR is probably the worst relic on the banner. I think these 3, Arc, Aria, and Arc. But Onion Knight's Legend Materia is new. Start battle with Instacast 2. There is no situation in which that is a bad thing. This banner is phenomenal. It's one of the best banners we've ever seen, and that's why I say approach this banner with caution. It's good. Refia's USB is good. Ingus's CSB is, unique. Refia BSB, Onion Knight, it's just a really good banner. It's just completely overshadowed by this. Because there's so much similarity between the two, and this is a better everything. Better everything. Except for that Ingus CSB. And that is the only reason I would pull on the banner. What does everyone think? Thank you, Jimbo.
Not drunk enough.
Thanks for the play.
Sure, I guess. But it's not really relevant to the banner I was actually reviewing. It's relevant to the banner that I think everyone should pull on instead. Onion Knight's USBs are focused rather than his BSB, which is hybrid. Haste, Magic Mine Resistance plus 30%, Quick Cast Magic 3 to party, by the way. And X-Mode Sage. X-Mode Sage increases the damage that he does with black magic abilities. So this is where his Legend Dive comes into play. His Legend Dive is dual-pronged. Instead of everyone else, where you go down and you get the Legend Materia 1 and the Legend Materia 2, with Onion Knight you get to go down either one route or the other or both. And one route is the Black Magic route, which gives him 30% chance to dual cast Black Magic. So that route goes together extremely well with this USB. For his second USB, he gets Haste, Attack plus 50%, Critical equals 50%, and Self X-Mode Ninja. This mitigates a lot of the, well, all of the issue that I have with Rafia's USB, because that critical 50% solves everything. Because that goes together with her high critical extremely well. But the X-Mode Ninja is not ninja-like at all. It actually gives him a stacking cast speed buff, that every time you use something, it keeps stacking upon itself. Which is actually a really interesting buff, because he can be used in a variety of different ways using this. Obviously, you start out the party by doing this, and then if you've got his LMR, for instance, your next ability after the USB is instantaneous. So what do? You could use him as a healer, because he will heal so quickly. Because of that stacking ninja buff, that he could be a buffing healer. And then that allows you to open up a lot of possibilities in the other 4 slots in your party if you're getting massive buffs like this from your healer. But on the topic of his Legend Dive, his other prong is the physical side, and he gets a 35% chance to dual cast Celerity abilities. So you could theoretically spam Dervish a bunch of times and get it extremely quick and dual cast it. And just, you know, get it to near instant speed, because it already starts at Celerity cast time. So we could do a lot of non-elemental damage, but I personally believe Onion Knight is generally used better in different ways. I'm not a big fan of his 35% chance to dual cast Celerity. That will be more useful down the line, I'd say, when Celerity gets the wind damage ability that it gets. That would be nice. Because then you can at least exploit a vulnerability. While Dervish is kind of locked to its multiplier since it can't exploit anything. Would he be a fast cast and truster with that? Yes, he would. Onion Knight has been one of the most useful and most powerful and highest tier characters in the game ever since he got his Burst Soul Break. It gets even worse once he gets his USBs. And Legend Dive and Legend Materia Relic. That's why this banner is as crazy as it is. There are few characters in this game that could almost marginalize someone as powerful at what they do as Ramza, but Onion Knight manages to do it. Yeah, that's my general feeling, Shooting Star. And the status lasts 15 times. An attack is taking a turn, an action. Using a cure will also qualify. It's kind of like